Damon, what did you learn about vulnerability from playing a man who constantly had to fake strength?
That's a good question. I'm naturally vulnerable. Like, I think that it's funny because I don't know if it's a strength or a weakness, but especially when it comes to acting, I have this just awareness of like how finite everything is, you know, how like it can just be gone tomorrow. So the strength part of it was harder for me, like to pretend that I'm stronger than I am amongst the other guys. Like the funny thing about that was, so the first season, the budget wasn't very big. So we had shared trailers, which I don't know if you know, but on a normal set, everyone has their own trailer. And so instead of having your own trailer, we all shared this like big party bus. And so we'd all get changed together. I mean, all the guys were together. The girls weren't on the same bus, but there wasn't many girls on the show. But yeah, so on the bus, guys would be like talking about scenes and like just sort of, you know, like it was like measuring their dicks essentially, right? And being like the lead on the show, and in most scenes, like they would often talk about my stuff. And so I was trying to put my ego aside and like just sort of have open conversations. But that was where it was like, you'd just be getting into fights with, not fights, but like heated discussions with other actors, because acting itself is facade. So, you know, you're lying anyway, but it's like the trick to it is to actually make it real, right? So if somebody's calling you out on it not seeming real, or if you're like too big, whatever that is, it has a tendency to like inflame your ego and like you become protective of it. So anyway, to answer your question, the strength part of it was definitely within these groups of other actors. Like this one actor, Don Franks, who played Lizard on the show, he's like Hollywood royalty. Like he was in Francis Ford Coppola's first movie. He's a great singer, dancer. Like this guy, he stood for things. Like he left the Hollywood system and went and lived on a reserve in the 70s. He basically gave it all up and then came back. He's just a man who knows what life is all about, right? And so he became like a father figure to me. But to get his respect on the show, that's where I really learned what like real strength is, like internal strength of knowing who you are, and then also allowing the vulnerability. You know, in the first season, we had all that direct to camera stuff where it was basically, we were looking at it as if you were, what do you call it?
POV?
Yeah, the POV was direct to camera, but it was like an interrogation at the end of the whole infiltrate, right? So anyway, in those moments, it was just myself, the camera, and the showrunner on the other side. And so I would often like sort of veer off into these, I don't know, like mental states of vulnerability. And he would be like, no, pull it back. Like, we don't want to see this guy sort of breaking down. We want to see him like barely keeping it together. And so that was the trick of that. But the vulnerability, it's easy just to collapse and go, oh my God, the weight of the world is too much. And like, I'm afraid of everything in my life. But the real strength comes from keeping that together and feeling everything, but like still pushing through. So yeah, I think that kind of answers your question.
Yeah, absolutely answers. So actually, while watching season 1 and maybe the beginning of season 2, I completely believed you. You were at the edge of madness, especially at the beginning of the season 2. When you're alone in your apartment, there's some kind of a nausea, maybe some kind of anxiety, and basically you don't know what the future holds for you. So yeah, amazing.
You know what the reality of that is? Is after season 1, we were kind of talking about bringing it back, but they weren't really like, it was just sort of, it could have been done, right? It was always up in the air. And so it took like, I think it was at least a year, wasn't it, Charles? Like it was a long time in between season 1 and season 2. Yeah. And season 1 took like 6 months to shoot, right? We would have 10 days on and then like 3 weeks off, and we come back and like it was a really way of shooting it. And then so in that first sequence in like my apartment, I was kind of just like, is this really happening? Like I was thankful to be like back on set, but you also realized it could all just be over at any minute, you know? And ultimately it was.
I mean, the show is as authentic as it could be. And I think we need to give the kudos to Charles, of course, and to you, because you played it and Charles was authentic.
Yeah, no, I mean, since season 1, we've stayed in touch pretty much. I don't know. We talk weekly kind of thing, I think.
Long time now. Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. Because, you know, guys, while preparing for the interview, I've been binge watching the interviews about bikers for maybe 4 days. I was trying to get into it. So yeah, kudos to you. Okay, the next question goes to Charles.
If you want Gangland Undercover back, now's the time. Post on any social media, a clip, a photo, a selfie with the Fight for Falco hashtag, or even just a text post. Share this video with friends, like, subscribe, and check the comments for all the links. Together, we can make Season 3 happen. Let's make some noise. Together, we're a force.